Hi everyone, this is Ginger with Gingerberry Creek. Today's tutorial is going to be about how to brush the felt to make it kind of fuzzy for like your bunny rabbits or your bears or whatever pattern you're doing. If you want to have that effect of it being a little fuzzier to make it cutesy and everything, then this is the technique we're going to do. Now, I wanted to give you a little idea of how felt is kind of starts off. We call it wool roving, so it kind of comes like this, and then it's processed down to a sheet that's like this. So it starts like this, and then it ends up, once they process it and squish it all together, it then turns into sheets like this. And this is what I sell in the shop. So the beginning of it and the end of it. But you can still give this an effect of being fuzzy or fluffy. Now, three of the tools are household tools that you can use for this effect, and then three other ones are ones for felting. The first tool that we're gonna do is or use is the common household toothbrush. So all you have to do is with the bristles, this is a soft bristle because I don't want it to, dig into the felt too much. It's a very subtle effect when you use a toothbrush. So all you would do is kind of brush back and forth. You can go in circular pattern. You can brush one direction, like this, and then the other direction. And basically you're kind of just breaking down the fibers a little bit to give it that kind of fluffed up look, fuzzy. So you would work at it a little bit like this to get the look. Now this is a more subtle look than some of the other tools that we're gonna do. So that's using the toothbrush. The next common household item that you could use is a kitchen brush. These bristles are a little stiffer, and so you'll probably get more of a fuzzy look by doing this. So here's a new piece of fabric or wool felt, and you would do the same thing. You would just kind of brush one way and then brush the other way, and keep doing this until it gives you the desired look that you're going for. So just kind of go back and forth. And be careful because, I've told you before that the wool felt will stretch a little bit. So you don't want to stretch it too much out of shape. So this is using a kitchen brush. Be sure to get one that's brand new. But it gives you the same effect of the fuzzy look. Now this is a little bit more compared to our toothbrush. So, if you want it to look a little fuzzier, then I would go with a brush like this. The third household tool, which is going to give you even more of a fuzzy effect, is a brush kind of like that has these real stiff bristles. So get one of those, and it's the same technique. You're just going to kind of brush all the way around, all over your fabric like this. And you will get little pieces coming off. It's called pilling. Some fabrics pill a lot more than others. So, but you can see the fuzziness is a lot more than the previous two. So, like I said, these are just three common household ones that you can use. Be sure that they're new because you don't want to be using it on a used one. But there's that fuzzy look, and that's a lot more than the previous two that we did. So those are the first three common household tools that you could use to get this effect. The next three tools are actually what are felting tools, so these are when people are felting and they want to blend colors like this, they brush at it and they start to blend the roving all together. So that's where these come in to play. Now this little one has bristles on it that are, you know, kind of softer, easy to move like that. This kind of is like one of those cat brushes to brush your cat or dog. But they do sell them in some of the shops on Etsy for felting. And this one is a little bit stiffer than this one here. These bristles are. And then the third one that I have is this one here. And these are real stiff bristles. So they barely give hardly. So with this one, let me get a piece here and show you. So the bristles, you see how they all go kind of one way. So if you brush this way, you can still kind of get the effect, but it's kind of like better to kind of pick at the fabric here with it. So like I'm going, you know, with the fabric, I'm going this way instead of, you know, running it that way. So I would kind of just pick at the fabric here all the way around in all the different directions to get the effect that I want. And the more you do it, the fuzzier it's going to get, and you're going to get some of this fuzziness coming off. You know, you may have a little pile of lint afterwards from it. So, but you would need to be careful not to push too hard into it, because you could poke a hole, or don't go over one place too much, because you don't want to, you know, wear a hole in the fabric either. But as you can see, that works great. Look how fuzzy that is. Oh, so soft. So that's the softer bristles. And then if we go to the next one, kind of the medium bristles here, it works just as well. So again, you're going to brush it kind of against those bristles to get to break down those fibers a little bit and fluff them up. Like I said, be careful, because, see, it went flying. You can misshape this way out of shape, and you don't want to do that. So, but here with these, you see it doesn't take a whole lot, and then it's really fluffy and fuzzy. So that's this tool here. So that's the medium felting brush there. And then the last one is this stiffer bristles. So again, you're just gonna kind of pick at that fabric to loosen those fibers up. And you can see all of these work. You just get, you know, different kind of degrees of fuzziness here. But you need to kind of be careful. Out of all of these tools, I personally prefer this smaller, softer bristle, because I'm afraid with this one, you know, you don't want to poke into that fabric with it being, you know, as stiff as they are. So those are the 6 tools, the 3 common household tools, and then the 3 felting tools. I wanted to show you, here's a heart, you know, beforehand, how smooth it is. And this is the heart after I fuzzed it up. It looks really good. Now, you can do it also 2 different ways. I wouldn't suggest doing the felting and then sewing the pieces together. I would suggest doing sew the pieces together before, and then before you stuff them, then take your tool, whichever one you find that you like, and before you stuff it, then go around and break down those fibers to get the fuzzy look on it. And once I was done, then I would go ahead and stuff this. So I would do both sides like this until I'm happy with how fuzzy it is. And then I would continue with my pattern of stuffing and doing all the rest. You can also, you know, do the piece, get it all done just like this. Here's my two here. So this is my fuzzy one, and then this is my one that I haven't done. So if you want to do it after the fact, then I would be very careful when you're doing it, because the last thing you want to do is end up taking one of the brushes or any of the household items and accidentally catching a stitch and breaking the stitch, or poking a hole in it and having to start over. But you can do this after the fact. So like I said, this is my favorite tool to use. It's small. I like the bristles are a little bit softer, and it gives a great effect. So all I would do is kind of after the fact, when I'm done it, then just go and brush around. I would be careful along the edges. Like I said, I would go very lightly if you need to across that, because you don't want to catch those stitches and break the thread that you've with sewing it together. But just go around front and back. Or if you're going to glue this piece to something, you may not want to fuzz this up, because then it wouldn't stick very well. But if it's something that you want to have fluffy all over, look how fuzzy that is. You may want to kind of pull off any of the excess pieces, but that is how you would brush your felt to give it that fuzzy look for like a bear, like my bunny here that I've done. Her ears are really fuzzy, her body's fuzzy. And like I said, you can do as much or as little as you want, but this is the brushed felt technique. And I hope this has been helpful. Like I said, you can use the 3 household tools. If you can't, or don't have access to getting the felting tools, that's fine. That's why I do the tutorial on other options. So, but I'd say if you're going to be doing this, then my suggestion would be to find one of these smaller felting brushes, because it works really nicely. It fuzzes it up, and they're a little bit softer bristles. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube and my Facebook page. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks. Bye.